The Persian Empire was a key hub in the region and was considered one of the most powerful and influential civilizations. Although archaeology has produced little clues about this vast empire, numerous digs and research have yielded some fascinating, albeit restricted, information. However, we do know it was a place where priests were murdered in cold blood, people rose from the dead, and many more things that would give you the creeps were as routine as brushing your teeth in the morning. Welcome to Bizarre History, and today let's find out about what inhumanity took place in the ancient Persian Empire. Ever dreamt you've been buried alive? Lucky for you, it was just a dream, because burying victims alive, head down in the ground, was reported by Herodotus as having occurred during Xerxes' campaign in Greece. Persian magi ordered the burying of 9 Greek boys and 9 Greek girls in the town of Tharis. The executions were evidently for religious purposes. King Cambyses ordered similar executions of a dozen Persian noblemen for no apparent reason. Many believe that he was crazy, and he was, don't you think? Queens such as Queen Amystris, Xerxes' consort, would also sometimes command the execution of victims by burying them alive as a religious ceremonial. As a token of her thanks to the gods of the soil for granting her a long life, Amystris once ordered the burial of 14 children of Persian nobility who were buried head down while still alive. Amystris was, however, not only notorious for burying children alive, she is known to have taken revenge on a woman by cutting off her breasts and tossing them to dogs, as well as her nose, ears, and lips, removing her tongue. Can you imagine the horror? Milk and honey sounds like a delicious drink you'd have on a cold winter morning, but did you know that they were once used to murder people? Have you ever wondered if it's possible to kill someone with food? Introducing scaphism, maybe one of the worst means of execution ever created for sheer frenzied, nauseous horror. It was practiced by the Persians starting around 500 BC. The victim was placed inside a sunken log or narrow canoe with their feet and hands bound at each end. The victim was then made to drink a mixture of milk and honey till they developed uncontrollable diarrhea, after which their skin was covered with more milk and honey, and they were left in the sun, smothered by their own excreta and vomit. The victim stood little chance of dying of thirst or hunger because of the rations of milk and honey, and occasionally water, were given at frequent intervals. The insects would descend. Wasps and ants would sting and bite the person, or even worse, others would go inside the victim's open orifices and lay eggs, devouring them alive from within. Thousands of insects crawled across their skin, burrowing into their eyes, ears, and noses, filling their mouths, while worms and parasites flourished in the muck in the bottom of the boat and squirmed up into their guts. The combination of exposure and massive infections caused by the insects and the feces spread into the injuries would finally prove fatal. Here's a fun fact. Parysatis was a strong Persian queen, the daughter of Persia's Emperor Artaxerxes I. She had 13 sons and 1 daughter with her half-brother Darius II, whom she married. Cyrus was her favorite son, and it was thanks to her that he became king when he was a teenager in around 407 BC. During the Battle of Cunaxa, a young Persian soldier named Mithridates unintentionally struck Cyrus, knocking him off his horse and leaving him stunned. Cyrus was rescued and brought to safety by some eunuchs, but a Caunian among the king's camp followers shot a vein behind his knee with a dart, causing him to collapse and smack his head on a stone, killing him. Unwisely, Mithridates boasted of assassinating Cyrus in the court, and Parysatis had him killed by scaphism. The Magi were a priestly caste during the Parthian period. What led to Persia's annual commemoration of priest murder? Bardia was the younger brother of Cambyses II, and the younger son of Cyrus the Great, the monarch of Persia. Cyrus designated Bardia as governor of parts of the far eastern regions of Persia on his deathbed. Cambyses II assassinated Bardia after becoming king of Persia just before he left for Egypt. An impostor named Guamata then pretended to be Bardia and proclaimed himself king. Gaumata was a Median Magian priest. Cambyses' authoritarian rule, coupled with his prolonged absence from Egypt, led to Persians, Medes, and other nations accepting the impostor, specifically because he gave a 3-year tax reduction. Cambyses began marching against Gaumata, but died under questionable circumstances in the spring of 522 BC. He confessed to his brother's murder and publicly revealed the entire scam before his death, although it was not widely believed. No one had the guts to resist the new king, who dominated the empire for 7 months. The seat of government was moved to Media by the new king. When a group of 7 Persian nobles realized that their new monarch was a fraud, they plotted to kill him. They stabbed him to death in a fortress in Nyssa, the birthplace of the Nisaean horses. Darius, one of the 7, was crowned ruler soon after. The Persian conspirators then severed the heads of the Magi and displayed them in the streets for other Persians to see, who then pulled their daggers and massacred the Magi wherever they could be found. The Persians used to hold a big feast called the Magophonia to commemorate this event, and during this feast all the Magi stayed at home to avoid being slaughtered. Do you think we missed any creepy facts about ancient Persia? Tell us in the comments. Also, which era shall we cover next? As always, thank you for watching Bizarre History.